Hi viewers, this is C. Sumati. I'm working as Assistant Professor in PG and Research Department of Biotechnology, JJ College of Arts and Science, Autonomous, Pudukkottai. Today we are going to discuss about basic lab safety. Basic lab safety. This is the definition for the clinical pathology laboratory. A facility for the biological, microbiological, hematological, biochemical, biophysical, cytological, pathological, immunohematological, serological or other examination of materials derived from human body for the purpose of providing information for the diagnosis, prevention or treatment of disease or the assessment of the health of human beings. This is the definition for the clinical pathology laboratory. Then functional component of clinical laboratory is clinical pathology, hematology, clinical biochemistry, clinical microbiology, immunology, blood bank, histology and cytology. Main function of clinical pathology laboratory is to perform qualitative and quantitative analysis on body fluids, tissues, feces and calculi by using medical laboratory technology. Basic needs of clinical laboratory. What are the basic needs of clinical laboratory? Providing high quality of diagnostic testing is the goal of all clinical laboratories. To attain this goal, several issues and problems are needed to be addressed, which ultimately underline the need for improving laboratory capacity. Some basic needs. Clinical laboratory must contain safety equipment required for the first aid. This is the very first basic need of clinical laboratory. It must have good data management system to store the information in a database format. It have to allow the biosafety levels as per the rules, and it must be maintained clean without any type of contamination. These are the some basic needs for the clinical laboratory. Before we are going to enter into the basic laboratory safety, first we discussed about the regulations. Regulations means the Occupational Safety and Health Act. Public Law 91-596 enacted on 1970. The goal of this Public Law 91-596 is to provide all employees with a safe work environment. To provide all employees in it include the clinical laboratory personnel also. Under these legislation, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, that is OSHA, simply it is called as OSHA, is authorized whether an employer is complying with mandatory standards and assess fines if it finds non-compliance with the regulations. Some safety awareness for clinical laboratory personnel. What are the safety responsibilities? There are three basic safety responsibilities. First one is the employer and the employee share safety responsibility. The employer has the ultimate responsibility for safety and delegates authority for safe operations to supervisors. Safety management in the laboratory should start with a written safety policy. These are the safety responsibility for the laboratory personnel. For employers and employees, for both the persons also have some responsibilities. What are the responsibilities of employers? First responsibility is they establish laboratory work methods and safety policies. Provide supervision and guidance to employees. Provide safety information, training, personal protective equipment and medical surveillance to employees. Provide and maintain equipment and laboratory facilities that are adequate for the tasks required. What are the employees' responsibilities? The following four are the employees' responsibilities. First one is know and comply with the established laboratory work and safety methods. Second, have a positive attitude toward supervisors, co-workers, facilities and safety training. Third, give prompt notification of unsafe conditions or practices to the supervisor immediately and ensure that unsafe conditions and practices are corrected. 4. Engage in the conduct of safe work practices and use of personal protective equipment, that is PPE. Personal protective equipment, PPE. The safety. Basically, the safety begins with the recognition of hazards and is achieved through the application of common sense, a safety focused attitude, good personal behavior or habits, good housekeeping, continual practice of good laboratory technique. These are the safety equipment. Generally, there are three safety equipments. First one is hoods, second one chemical storage equipment, third one personal protective equipment. The hood, the safety equipment, first one hood is branched into two, fume hoods and biological hoods. First one fume hoods and biological hoods. In hoods, fume hoods are used when chemical reagents may produce a hazardous fume. When we use fume hoods means when chemical reagents may produce a hazardous fume. The sash or window should be lowered when working in the hood. Then airflow should be checked to assure proper ventilation. Controls such as power, gas and vacuum should be located externally to prevent a spark that may cause a fire when using volatiles. We're using volatiles, that may be a chance to getting a fire inside the hoods. So we separate the power, gas and vacuum externally. Then hoods, biological hoods or biosafety hoods. Biological safety cabinet, BSCs, simply called as BSCs. Biological hoods remove particles and that may infect the person walking with a biologically infected person. These hoods contain a HEPA. HEPA means high efficiency particulate arrestants. Contain a HEPA filter and are used typically in a microbiology laboratory. Then personal protective equipment. Personal protective equipment, simply PPE. The parts of the body most frequently subject to injury in the clinical laboratory are the eyes, skin, respiratory tracts and digestive tracts. Hence, the use of personal protective equipment is very important. All contaminated PPE must be removed and properly disposed of before leaving the laboratory. These are the some basic equipment, safety equipments. First one is safety shower. So is the shower which is used to remove the chemicals or any spills of chemicals on our body. Then second one is eye wash. This is the specialized equipment which is used to wash our eyes when the chemicals are spilled or splashed on our eyes. Then third one is fire blanket, which is used to prevent the spreading of fire when the fire accident was happened accidentally. Laboratory safety rules. Next we see about laboratory safety rules. Why is lab safety is important? Laboratory safety rules are a major aspect of every medical lab. Each person in laboratory must follow specific safety rules and procedures. Lab safety rules and symbols are needed so that the technicians or students do not injure themselves or others. These are the some rules for laboratory. General safety rules, glassware safety rules, chemical safety rules, electrical safety rules, heating safety rules. First one is general safety rules. In general safety rules, we discussed about I listed some general safety rules. What are they? They are: listen or to read instructions carefully before attempting to do anything. Wear safety goggles to protect your eyes from chemicals, heated materials, or things that might be able to shatter. After handling chemicals, always wash your hands with soap and water. During lab work, keep your hands away from your face. Then tie back long hair, roll up loose sleeves. It is suggested that you wear glasses rather than contact lenses. Know the location of the fire extinguisher, fire blanket, eye wash station, and first aid kit. These are the major important general safety rule. Keep your work area uncluttered. Take to the lab station only what is necessary. Never put anything into your mouth during a lab experiment. That is a bad habit. It prevent the it contaminates the food materials, and it may be cause any hazardous effect or harmful effect to our body. So avoid it. Clean up your lab area at the conclusions of the laboratory period. Never hose around or play practical jokes in the laboratory. Next one is glassware safety. Chipped or cracked glassware should not be used. Show it to the teacher. If you are a student, show it to the teacher. Or if you are working as a working person, show it to a supervisor. Broken glassware should not be disposed of in a classroom trash can. Keep a special glass disposal container for it. When pouring liquids into glassware, make sure that container you are pouring into is resting on a table at least a hand's breadth from the edge. When inserting glass tube into a rubber stopper, apply a lubricant like glycerin to the glass and use a twisting motion. Because we use glycerin, it will easy to lubricate the glass tube when you insert into the rubber stopper. So use glycerin. Do not place hot glassware in water. The rapid cooling may make it shatter. So slowly you cool down the glassware. Pour down a glass stirring rod to prevent liquids from splattering. Next one is chemical safety. Never mix chemicals together randomly. Mix only in a specified manner. And never taste any chemicals also. It is very dangerous. If you need to smell the odor of chemical, waft the fumes toward your nose with one hand. Do not put your nose over the container and inhale the fumes. Never pour water into concentrated acid. Acid should be poured slowly into water. If you want to mix water with acid, you can't do this vigorously. You should follow this manner only. Pour water into the concentrated acid slowly. Now, sorry. Acid should be poured slowly into the water. Wash your hands after handling hazardous chemicals. Next one is electrical safety. Be sure your hands and your lab area are dry before using electrical equipments. Never poke anything into electrical outlets. Unplug all electrical equipment at the end of the lab period. Unplug cords by pulling the plug and not the cord. Next one is heating safety. Let burners and hot plates cool down before touching them. Test to see if they are cool enough by bringing the back of your hand close to them. This is to check whether the hot plate is cool or not. Use tongs and or protective gloves to handle hot objects. Never reach across an open flame or burner. The amount of air can be adjusted by the air supply valve below the tube of the burner. This regulates the flame temperature and color. The blue color flame is very good for our laboratory work, and red and orange color flame is not good. So the for regulate that flame, use the air supply valve. Never leave a burner or hot plate unattended. These are the some lab safety symbols. These lab safety symbols are pasted in the laboratory walls of any type of clinical laboratory or any microbiological laboratory or biochemical laboratories. They alert about the possible dangers in the lab. First one is animal hazard. Second symbol shows the sharp instrument hazard. Third one heat hazard. Fourth one glassware hazard. Fifth chemical hazard. Sixth electrical hazard. Seventh eye and face hazard. 8 fire hazard. 9 biohazard. 10 laser radiation hazard. 11 radioactive hazard. At last explosive hazard. Next we are going to enter into biological safety. Biological safety. Biological safety levels. The biological safety levels deals about the safety measures when we are working, safety measures to take when we are working in with microorganisms, that is biological microorganisms. There are 4 levels of biological safety levels. They are arranged in a descending order like a pyramid like structure, from low risk microorganisms microbes to high risk microorganisms. Low risk microorganisms are categorized in the biological safety level 1, then slowly increased to high risk microbes that are categorized in biological safety level 4. In biological safety level 1, it is not known to cause disease in healthy adult humans because these microbes are at low risk, so there is no disease causing ability. Safety equipment is minimal requirements. We require minimal requirements of safety equipment. Facilities, which facilities you want? Open bench top only. That's enough to biological safety level 1. And biological safety level 2, these are the microbes mild to moderate disease in humans. These microbes are associated with mild to moderate disease in humans. We want the safety equipment. Which type of safety equipment means biological safety cabinet and personal protective equipment as needed. Then facilities, biological safety level 1 plus the availability of mechanism for decontamination, with availability of decontamination mechanism. This is for biological safety level 2. Then BSL 3, biological safety level 3, it is deals with the serious or potentially lethal disease in humans. These are the microbes that cause a lethal disease in humans. So we need a biological safety cabinet and personal protective equipment. So we need biological safety cabinet and personal protective equipment. What kind of facilities we need means BSL2 with self-closing, double door access and single pass negative directional airflow. What we want? BSL2 with self-closing double door access and single pass negative directional airflow. At last, biological safety level 4. It associated with high risk of life threatening disease causing microbes in humans and animals. These microbes able to spread a highly threatening disease, life threatening disease at high risk. So we need a safety equipment, biological safety cabinet, along with full body air supplied positive pressure personal suit. So we need full body air supplied positive pressure personal suit. Then facilities, we need BSL-3 plus desiccated air and exhaust, decontamination procedures for exit, separate building also, etc. These are the needs and facilities, safety equipments for biological safety level 4. That's all about basic lab safety. Thank you. Thank you for watching.